What is up, Waffle Gang? I do hope you are bloody good today. My name is Mark and welcome to some more r/am I the butthole. If you'd like to skip the initial waffle, timestamps are in the description and along the timeline below, but if you are new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe, and maybe that notification bell too. And don't forget, we're over on Discord, we have a Christmas competition going on. Art based, you don't have to be good, it's just all about those festive feels. As I said, 2020 has been a rough year, so let's get those back on track, shall we? And with that being said, let's just crack on with today's stories. Much love, guys. And our first story comes from Am I the Arsehole Overreaction? Am I the arsehole for losing it when my wife gave my cat to her irresponsible brother without telling me? I'll make this short. I, male 26, has been married for 6 months. I have a cat named Monday. Don't laugh please, and she's my world. I love her, she's my best friend, and she grew up with me. She is even better than my own family, whose love was conditional. Look, I'm a bit of an emotional guy, and I don't hide it. Monday makes me happy no matter how bad my day was. My wife loved her at first, but then started kicking her out of the couch, bedroom and kitchen, saying she can't be here, she can't be there. I can't remember the times when I found Monday sitting outside waiting for me to come home, since my wife decided she shouldn't be inside. Whenever I play with her or feed her, my wife would lash out about how I'm making a mess and giving Monday so much time instead of getting things done. I once gave her milk and my wife berated me for opening the milk carton. She made me clean up the bathroom after giving Monday a bath, calling me disgusting. Her 16-year-old brother saw pictures of Monday and said he wanted to have her. I respectfully told him no. My wife didn't like that, and instead of dropping it, she went behind my back and promised her brother that he'd get to have Monday soon. She tried to convince me, but I told her no. I'd never let anyone take her, besides her brother is irresponsible, he can't take care of pets clearly, and I don't even know what happened to the couple of birds he got. Did they fly away? No one knows. 2 days ago I came home, I was surprised Monday didn't show up to greet me. That was unusual of her. My wife told me she saw her running out the gate and didn't return. I went to look for her, even asked the neighbourhood kids to help out, but we didn't find her. I came home and my wife said that cats are always ungrateful. I was worried, couldn't even sleep, till my wife got a text from her mum berating her for the new cat she brought to their house and how her brother was making a mess there. I confronted my wife and she admitted she took Monday over to her parents' house and her brother was very happy and excited. I lost it and I yelled at her. She thought I was overreacting and that she was in good hands. That it was not logical for me to look after pets at that age, so I should let her irresponsible brother have her. I told her she either bring her back or I will. She didn't like it and threw a fit about it. I'm still so mad, I just can't let go of what she did. A pic of Monday is in my profile. And as suspected, Monday is a gorgeous cat, of course. But how can... I don't understand this sort of... I really struggle with this sort of mindset where people think that they can just give people's pets away. They've been with them all this time and then think, oh yeah, you can just get rid of it. I can give that to someone else. That's totally a normal human thing to do. Especially to someone who you claim is so irresponsible. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't understand the brother either, that he could just accept someone's pet knowing it doesn't belong to them. It's just really bizarre behavior. I'd really question being with someone like that. But Luna Strange says, not the arsehole, get your cat back and rehome the wife. Someone replied by that underneath that saying no one wants her. And Little Freaky Reaper says, not the arsehole, take your wife to her parents, get your cat and leave your wife there. I wouldn't trust her near her again. Coco Butts Go Nuts says, not the arsehole, but you will be if you don't dump your wife. This cat you grew up with, you've had her for years. Don't allow your wife to keep being a dick to the cat, because maybe next time she does something more drastic like having the cat put down or taken to the vet. And yes, there's plenty of tales on here of that occurring. And there absolutely is quite a few tales of like animals, the pets disappearing because the other half got rid of them. It's crazy stuff. The Purest of Poison says, not the arsehole, my cat is like my child and my house is his house. We're a package deal. If anybody ever took him from me and our home without my consent, I'd never speak to that person again, because I imagine outright threats aren't allowed here. Family, friend, doesn't matter. You don't disrespect anyone you love that way. Now, I turn it to you guys. What would you do in this situation? You got the cat back. Now, how would you deal with the wife? Could you trust the wife again? Let me know in the comments below. And our next story is from a throwaway account. Am I the arsehole for not buying a 10% engagement ring? My partner and I have been talking about getting engaged for the last year or so. I have a quite good job, so could easily afford an expensive engagement ring. If I was following the 10% rule, then I would spend around 10 to 15k on the ring. However, my parents, sister and nephew have all had COVID this year, so I was financially supporting all of them for a while. My sister has lost her job, so I'm still supporting her a bit, and my job has announced they'll be laying off around 150 people next year, and while I feel confident that I'm not one of them, I don't want to guarantee it either. So long story short, I spent about 3k on a nice little white gold ring with diamonds and a sapphire, her birthstone. Initially she was happy with it until her mother, a jeweler, called it cheap. She has since given it back to me and accused me of undervaluing her and what she does for me. She's a stay-at-home mum to our 18-month-old and does the majority of the cooking, cleaning because I work long hours. I feel like shit because she's refusing to talk to me. Her parents are accusing me of using her and treating her like cheap trash. I've tried to explain my point of view, but they won't listen and are demanding at least a 10% ring. Am I the arsehole for the ring I bought? Edited to add, that's why her mum is a jeweler by trade/training. She no longer works in the industry due to the issue with her wrists, carpal tunnel or something. I'm not 100% sure, so she wasn't in a position to help with the ring. Now there is an edit which I'll read immediately which says, edit, I've answered this several times in the comments so might as well put it here too. Their concerns aren't based on any form of concern about financial insecurity, as I pay her to be a stay-at-home mum. She gets $450 a week to spend however she likes or save. I happen to know that she has over 40k in her personal savings account. This was my idea after the birth of our son. She suggested going back to work. I didn't think it would be a good idea. Her old job paid $350 a week for full-time work. Full-time childcare house cleaners would cost around $300 to $400 depending on the time of year. To me it made more sense for her to stay at home and bond with our son than to spend the equivalent of her income on childcare or cleaning. I did discuss ring styles with my partner before buying the ring. She wanted a sapphire surrounded by diamonds like Princess Diana's ring. I also noticed that she preferred pear-cut stones, so I had a sapphire custom cut into a pear shape and placed it into a diamond halo on a white gold band. There is little to no chance that I was overcharged because it was done in conjunction with two jewelers. I had it independently appraised for insurance reasons afterwards. Now, my initial thoughts going into this one is that it's just so ungrateful and so incredibly entitled. It's amazing that you even spent that amount on a ring. I'm not someone who's like very object based, so I probably don't understand how much this ring means to people or anything like that, but I'm very much, it's about the person thinking about it, the thought that they put into it. You know, this whole pear-shaped stuff that they went into and all this kind of thing, and the fact that they got their birthstone put on this ring too. There's just loads of thought going into it, and that means so much more than the actual value to me. Firstly, I tell the mum to keep her nose out in her own goddamn business, and secondly, I would tell the wife to stop being so bloody entitled, in my opinion. This is my opinion, of course. People might have completely different views on like engagement rings and like that, but I hate the whole 10% thing. I think it makes no sense. But Theme says, how the actual fuck is 3k cheap? Not the arsehole. Andy Blue says, not the arsehole. The 10% rule was created by the jewelry industry. The two of you need to decide what is appropriate for you and your situation. If you are guilty about it, or if she feels slighted, then the two of you should agree to reevaluate your circumstances at your 5th anniversary and upgrade her ring then. Mrose138 says, not the arsehole, and run. If her parents can sway her opinion that much, that's a huge red flag. And if she also believes she's being devalued because she was given a 3k ring, then she clearly has issues. I'm sorry, no matter what your income is, it's a pandemic and you've clearly been financially affected by it. Her refusing to acknowledge that is ridiculous. Some awful bitch says, whoa, what the fuck? People really expect that shit. Not the arsehole, nah. 3k is a nice ring. That's nah. I don't want to trash talk someone I've never met, but nah, not the arsehole at all. She was happy till she knew the value. Enough said. And Danimal Crossing says, not the arsehole. That's some rich people shit. She's entitled and should appreciate what she's got. 3k is a lot. Now I turn it to you guys. How would you react if you was given a 3k ring? Would you expect more, or would you appreciate the thought that's gone into it? I think it's all incredibly entitled in my opinion, but what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And our next story comes from RightJack77. Am I the arsehole for reminding the person who outed me exactly what he did and what happened afterwards? I'm finally calmer than I was. Earlier I was shaken pretty hard and in a pretty full force panic attack. I haven't since we graduated high school, and I don't voluntarily seek him or any of that group out. It's crazy how after all these years later, he can still make me feel like I'm 15 again. I stopped by Trader Joe's on my way back home to pick up a few things. We just happened to be going down the same aisle. I saw him right away and was trying to turn around, but it was too late and he saw me and came up. He asked my name. I tried to use my middle name and husband's last name, but my name, both first and middle name, are unique, that it wouldn't have worked. Instead it was my first name and husband's last name, but ultimately he knew it was me. He started with the obligatory, "So good to see you, how are you, what are you doing, it's been so long." I kept trying to walk away, but he kept following me and acting like nothing ever happened. I finally was like, "You really don't remember, do you? You really don't remember everything that happened all those years ago?" The strange thing was, he really seemed confused, so I told him that he, his friends, and all the people in the social group outed me to the whole school. It got back to my parents and I lost my home. I reminded him that he and a group of friends cornered me in a locker room trying to get me to blow them. I reminded him how they used to follow me to my apartment thinking that they were going to come in for whatever reason, only for him to completely dismiss me and tell me that was a long time ago and it was time to move on. It didn't really matter anymore. At that point I told him maybe it didn't. Ultimately, I just told him that I needed to get home. I finally got home and he tried adding me on Facebook right away. He sent me a message saying that he did remember and that was all in good fun. He never thought it would get to that part where I would get kicked out. He said even now, he doesn't really think he did anything wrong, saying that they all knew I was gay and it was common knowledge, so it was basically just getting the truth out in the open. He said that look at where I am and I should be happy with how much they helped me. Seriously, they think they did me a favour. I typed back that he didn't do me any favours. I told him about things I tried when I felt like I couldn't cope anymore. I told him to never contact me again. He told me I was being an arsehole and I blocked him. Hubby is telling me it's done now, that getting out in the open was the right thing to do and I should be proud of myself for confronting him. But now it's time to move on and need to heal. So am I the arsehole for reminding him about everything they did? So they outed you in front of everyone, attempted to sexually assault you, and it's all in good fun. No, fuck that guy. He deserves to be told what he did. And I know it's not the same as this person went through, but when I was bullied in high school, it really ruined my life. And I often fantasize about meeting that person or those people that bullied me during my school days and telling them how they affected my life. I imagine they'd probably act the same way as this person, play it down and say, "Oh yeah, it was good fun at the time. I was different then," and that kind of thing. But it still affects me to this day. It still comes into my mind about the memories I went through and all that kind of thing. So I can imagine what this person goes through as well. I can totally sympathize what this person's going through, and then to be told that as well. Absolutely disgusting, not the arsehole, and good for you for calling that person out. But Magetti says, not the arsehole. I'm not sure how you could be an arsehole. This guy was a horrible, abusive jerk, and he threw a temper tantrum when you refused to play a silly game of let's pretend. Also, even if he was the most wonderful person in the world, you wouldn't have been obligated to talk to him. Good for you for insisting on the truth. Block him and refuse to engage. He's vile. Adept1819 says, not the arsehole. Some bullies never grow up, and I'm extremely sorry for that. He's a jerk. You're married, happy, and live by Trader Joe's. All good things to celebrate. He will always be a bully, and you will always be the better person. Just keep that in mind. I hear Trader Joe's a lot. It sounds like a great place. I want to go there. But OP replies saying, I'm getting to the point where I think my husband and some other people are right. Maybe it's time to start seeing a therapist. What I'm doing now works, but not that great. That's what's great about living in a huge city. I have hundreds of grocery stores to choose from. Lol. And user 22022 says, definitely not the arsehole. He said in just good fun, meaning he hasn't changed at all. Oh, Paranoid So Shy says, not the arsehole, hold him accountable, heck, tell the people in his life how he tried to extract sexual favours from you. Out him right back. And Blue Turtle says, not the arsehole, he pried at you. You tried getting away and avoided the situation. And Sunlit Fable says, not the arsehole, clearly he hasn't grown up in the slightest. I'm so fucking sorry put you through that. And has the audacity to claim it was fun and helpful. Now, I turn this one to you guys. What do you think OP was right to call them out in the shopping centre or anywhere? Would you have done the same if you had been bullied and what happened to OP? Would you call them out? Let me know in the comments below. And our next story is from Fried Rice 124. Am I the arsehole for bringing my dogs to an outdoor party? A couple of weeks ago, one of the people that lives on my street sent an invitation to a barbecue / Christmas carols party. I hosted a similar thing the previous year, so know it was going to be an outdoor event mostly. I remembered from last year that the kids had all really loved my 2 yellow labs, who are really good with children and super gentle. I thought since it was an outdoor gathering, it'd be okay to bring them if I was discreet about it. So myself and my kids turned up, and I made sure that as soon as we entered their yard, the dogs were on a leash. They're really calm dogs, but you never know what could happen. I was being ultra safe just in case. I tied the leashes to my chair, meaning they couldn't roam freely or run out of my field of view. They both just laid down and basically slept relaxed beside me. Kids came up and petted them, but only if they wanted to, so obviously if someone had allergies, they had the option to stay away. Every hour I'd get up and walk them to the corner so they could wee, but they remained on the leash at all times. As soon as they were done, I'd bring them back and retie them to my chair. At all times they were either tied to my chair or tied to my wife's chair if I was off chatting. Later on, everyone inside to sing some Christmas carols and have pudding. When everyone went inside, I let the dogs off the leash because they were getting restless and I could tell they needed to poop. I picked up their poop and disposed of it in the kitchen bin, and when I was done I entered through the kitchen door and pulled up the chair by the door and sat there, so the dogs weren't too far inside the house and were pretty much laying on the doormat. At the end of the evening, I got told by the homeowner that they'd appreciate if I don't bring my dogs next time. I said of course, and won't bring them next time. However, I'm just wondering whether I was the arsehole for bringing them this time. They were leashed the entire time, except when they were pooping. At that stage everyone was inside. I feel though as I did the responsible thing. Nobody, whether allergic or scared, was exposed to dogs if they didn't want to be. No mess was caused as they were leashed the whole time. Am I the arsehole? Well, this one's a bit of a weird one. I just don't think you take dogs along without asking first. Taking them to someone's house, to an outdoor party, surely you have to ask if you're okay to bring the dogs. And then taking a bag of dog poo and then put it in their kitchen bin. I mean, come on, man. You don't do that. Never put dog poo on the inside. I mean, it's not the biggest arsehole we've ever seen on this subreddit, but I think it's just polite to ask if you can bring the dogs first. It's just common sense and courtesy, you know. But let's have a look at what some of the comments say. So Preference Gloomy says, you're the arsehole. You should have asked for permission beforehand. You're an even bigger arsehole for putting shit in the kitchen bin. Final Feeling says, and quotes, I picked up their poop and disposed of it in the kitchen bin. And then says, you're the arsehole for this. Don't bring poop indoors. Don't put poop anywhere near a food prep area. Too true. An Unlucky Profession says, you're the arsehole. You didn't even ask permission in the first place. You were invited into a private place and assumed everyone else would be okay with it. Yes, you picked up after your dog, but you had no idea beforehand if someone was allergic. Definitely afraid of, didn't want to be around a dog, etc. You took the liberty of assuming it was fine. No bueno. VPR says, you're the arsehole. Why would you bring dogs and not ask first? Regardless if it's an outdoor event or not, you should always ask. Also, why did you discard poop in the kitchen? An exterior garbage can or taking it home with you if the homeowner didn't have dogs is more appropriate. Cypher Max says, I think you should have at least asked before bringing the dogs. While they sound delightful, and I have no doubt spent an uncomfortable amount of time just hanging out with them, not everyone likes dogs. I also wonder about throwing their poop in the kitchen bin. Who wants that stink in their kitchen? I can't smell, so maybe I'm just paranoid, but it seems super gross to me. Mild, you're the arsehole because I'll be fine with it, but I understand that some people may not. Revolutionary Cook 17 says, you're the arsehole. You don't take your pets to someone else's house, including their yard, without asking first. You certainly don't take them inside without permission. What if someone in their home had allergies and you brought dander into their home? Now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys think of this situation and how would you deal with it? What if you was the homeowner? Do you think that was a polite thing to do at the very end, say don't bring them again? Or would you have kicked them out sooner? Let us know in the comments below. Once again, guys, I appreciate you being here, taking the times out of your day to come here and get involved with the channel. It really does mean the world to me. As I always say, I think we have more of a community feel than most places, and I really, really do appreciate that. So thank you so much for what you do for me, for liking and getting involved, coming on Twitter and getting involved there too. It really, really does mean the world to me. So thank you so much for what you do. Anyway, I hope you have a great day ahead of you, whatever you're doing, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Much love.